So all in the same day, we had Meta send a letter to the shareholders of the company that Mark Zuckerberg is participating in combat sports, very problematic, and is associating with Dana White, very problematic. Geez, I wonder why they did that. And if you think it doesn't have to do with you, you're crazy. It has everything to do with all of us. That is exactly why they're doing it. And I'm going to lay out in plain English what is happening because it's an election year. It's the future. It's the future of the world at stake. And if you think that's a hyperbolic statement, again, trust me, I'm going to tell you how that's exactly what's going on. You had Luke Thomas attack Dana White again, which again, this is also direct related to this. It's an election year. Things are ramping up. People are taking sides and being like, I am on the side of whatever side I think I'm on. Luke Thomas sees Dana White as an enemy. I don't understand why. I have been saying this since that one video I did about Luke. Luke Thomas is too smart to be on that side. It does not make sense. Luke Thomas is one of us. This doesn't make sense that he is on that side. I can't understand it. I cannot understand it. How on earth is Luke Thomas on the other side of this thing? But he is, and he attacked Dana White, and we're going to talk about that. And then in the same day, Luke Thomas also attacked Gina Carano after she filed a suit against Disney for her wrongful termination, which is being supported by Elon Musk. So those are the three stories, all of which are today. And I want to state in advance, I am not attacking Luke Thomas. I can't. He's just, look, I love talking about these topics. I wish it was someone else. I don't want to have beef with Luke Thomas. I honestly, when I first started breaking his balls, I just wanted him to look at these issues and have, because he has a huge platform. I am a hearts and minds guy. I can't stress this enough. I am not an online internet beef guy. That's not my deal. I think these things really matter. Like really, really matter. And so if I see someone with a platform and I look, I'm like, dude, what? Like, how is he not on our team? I'll try to get him on our team. But he keeps on, doing this where he's like not on our team. But first we're going to start with the Zuckerberg story because that one is way more important than any of the others. I want to thank the sponsor of this video, Game Time. Game Time is a ticket marketplace that makes it faster and easier for you to get into your favorite events at a moment's notice. I go to a lot of UFC events, and if I'm going last minute, I use Game Time. Game Time provides the premier marketplace for last minute tickets to the most popular events in sports, music, and theater in more than 60 cities across the US and Canada, eliminating the need for printing and building a better way to access the best live experiences right from your phone. While I know everybody loves robotic ad reads, I'm going to just show you myself using this product, GameTime.co, to look at tickets for UFC 298. Look at this. Look at how easy this is. You're like, bam, here is the entire stadium. Here are the ticket prices. You can see exactly where they are. Why would you pay $761 to sit right here when you can pay $743 and be in the third row? And bam, it gives you a look at exactly what your view is going to be. You're going to be down here in the third row over there. Now, why I really like Game Time is you have great prices. I compare. They always have the lowest. You get to see the view from your seats, which is awesome. And you can buy with 2 clicks. Now, when I steer you guys wrong on tickets, go ahead and download the Game Time app, create an account, and then use the code JesseOnFire with your first purchase to save $20, and you will be a happy camper. All right, so this is the story that we are talking about, and it is, again, one of the biggest stories that I think I've ever covered. Okay, so Meta voiced their concerns about Zuckerberg's MMA hobby in a recent letter to investors. I cannot stress to you how important letters to investors are, all right? Mr. Zuckerberg and certain other members of management participate in various high-risk activities such as combat sports, extreme sports, and recreational aviation, which carry the risk of serious injury and death. If Mr. Zuckerberg were to become unavailable for any reason, there could be material adverse impact on our operations. Okay, so why would they send that to investors? Why? Why do you think that that would go out to investors, right? Because they're like, hey guys, just want you to know that Zuckerberg is doing things that are dangerous. Do you have any idea the kinds of things that some of these CEOs do? Some of them even watch my content without subscribing. Do you have any idea how much more dangerous that is than skydiving or any of the other things that they just mentioned in the letter? You better subscribe, dude. It's dangerous not to. I'm just kidding. But subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, tell your friends, like this video. Like these guys go on the most insane, like this is absurd to the idea that they're just doing this because, oh, we're just, being good stewards of the business. No, right now the world is on the line for these people and us. It's an election year. You got the big guy who's running for president, which they see as some kind of existential threat to the entire world. And maybe it is that to them, right? Which is why all of us are on this side, okay? And who is the largest, most powerful, largest platform person who is a direct advocate for that guy, friend of that guy, who's never going to betray that guy, the dude right there in that picture, okay? And so Zuck being associated with Dana and Zuck being in combat sports, think about this, dude. What percentage of people in our training community are on Dana's side politically? Serious, I'm being totally serious. All of you guys who train, what percentage would you say are on our side? 98%? And the people who own the businesses, it's 100% because they're all small business owners who, even if they were on the other side before the lockdowns, they immediately went to the other side because their businesses and their livelihoods were impacted dramatically. Some of them went out of business, had to reopen. Some of them just lost everything. So Zuckerberg is literally ingrained in a culture, and they know exactly what's going to happen because all they have to do is just look at the content creators that are in this space, and they're like, it's all of them are all against us. We have they've always had institutional control of the mainstream media. Why do you think that's fallen apart? Because we've all figured them out. You can't trust anything over there. You keep getting caught lying, like if you catch somebody lying over and over and over and over and over, guess what, dude? You're not going to believe the next thing that they say. So Zuck, there's not a more powerful heart and mind that we could possibly capture than Zuckerberg's. They are going after Zuckerberg, in my opinion, because they don't want him near us. They don't want him to be, they don't want him on our side. If he's doing combat sports, he's with Dana. Dana is the ultimate adversary for them right now because he's with their real ultimate adversary. And you never know too, Zuck might be coming into meetings right now and he might be saying things that sound very much not like what they're used to saying, all this woke ideology. It doesn't take a person who's smart long to figure out that all of that stuff is horseshit as soon as they start watching the right channels. You know what I mean? Like even if they're completely brainwashed, even if they have TDS and they've been brainwashed to the gills, if they start watching the right stuff, long form content, watch some Rogan episodes with the right types of guests, watch Lex Friedman, watch these guys that we all know that he's buddies with now. He's going to change his mind. Even if he was, who knows if he was even on their side to begin with. He starts coming in there sharing ideas that they don't like, and they are going to start to try to wedge themselves between him and us. And that's what I think this is. Why else would they send this? There's no way that Zuckerberg approved of them sending this. This is like some kind of faction that's trying to get in between us and him. Guaranteed, that's what it is. Zuck, we know you're on our team now, so don't go anywhere. We love you, dude. Just keep it coming. Tell these people to go F themselves. Now, moving right along to the next story, we got Luke Thomas right here that covered Dana White being in a Bud Light commercial as like this, So Dana White is in a new Bud Light commercial, and this is how he covered this. Instead of Dana White's in a new Bud Light commercial, he said the reputational damage from the incident with his wife at the beginning of 2023 really set him back, it appears. So they're like, hey, Dana's featured in the new UFC sponsors commercial. And it's like, yeah, hey, remember when he beat his wife? You're all, what? Yeah, remember that? Remember when he beat his wife on camera? You're like, I mean, I don't know if you would beat his wife, dude. That's like a stretch. Oh, is it? So you hit women? What? I saw his wife hit him, and then he I don't know. I mean, he didn't even make any excuses for himself. I don't know why I am. But I don't know. What does that have to do with a Bud Light commercial? I just wanted to remind you that happened. Okay. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where everybody knows they're in the culture war, and so now apparently everyone wants to take sides. I don't get it. Let's see what people are saying back to him, though. Yeah, his wife really shouldn't be assaulting her husband. You're an adult crybaby. Your consistent obsession with other grown men is pretty concerning. He has to live with it forever, Luke. Yeah, he wipes his tears with his cash. Okay, that's kind of funny. Cancel culture gets another one. Another of our brave warriors. How will we ever recover? Never forget, she swung first. Oh my God, wow, dude. LOL, stop with the holier than thou game. You've spoken a lot about Desert Storm albums. There's literal women beaters on those albums, and you have no problem saying how great the music is. If he really wanted to take his reputation to the next level, he would make amends with Shab for being out of line with him in the past. What? Oh my God, that guy comments Shab stuff all the time. He'd likely argue because he owned it up front as a reason it blew over so quickly. Bunch of malarkey. All of the punishment he needed was having to live with it. Shaking my head. Which brings us to the next culture war story, also brought to us by Luke Thomas, because Gina Carano is suing Disney over her being fired over her social media posts. And I have some original thoughts on this, but first we're going to show you, how Luke is covering this, because he definitely is not making it a mystery where he stands on all of this stuff. So Gina Carano obviously was a huge MMA star prior to becoming an actress, and this is Luke just shitting on her after the way this went down. Now, I do have some original thoughts about this that are not just like, yeah, you can't fire her for things she said online. You absolutely can. Anyway, we'll get to it in a second. So, Gina Carano is suing Disney over the Mandalorian firing in lawsuit funded by Elon Musk. Elon Musk is funding it because he said he would fund lawsuits from people who were damaged by free speech, like people who are against free speech on Twitter before he bought it. So that's why he's funding this against Disney. Now, obviously, Disney, Elon literally told the CEO of Disney to go fuck himself on a stage. So, he's obviously an adversary of Disney, and Disney is facing the populist movement is now coming back at them. One of the reasons I would imagine that they're trying to get Zuckerberg away from Dana and all of us, because they are losing their grip on the culture. Bottom line. So Luke responds with, at-will employees who make up the majority of private sector workers often face an uphill climb in obtaining damages for terminations over problematic online posts deemed to be offensive and in violation of workplace policies. Jesus, are you all right? Unlike employees in the public sector, who such workers are not shielded against discipline under the First Amendment. Okay, look, here's the deal. Okay, I'm going to say this, then we're going to go. Actually, I guess I should probably cover this first, and then I'll talk about what I think. All right, so Luke Thomas now says Carano is seeking a court order that would force Lucasfilm to recast her and at least $75,000 plus punitive damage. At least $75,000 plus punitive damages. Strange she would ask the court for this when she and the business she partnered with following her firing claimed this was an unequivocal win for them. You think that she claimed that it was a win when she got fired? That's definitely not true. And then here he shits on the movie that she made with the Daily Wire. I don't know. I never even watched this, but listen, they are trying to be the new kind of cultural whatever. I don't know. If Disney's going to make all this shit no one wants to watch, then we'll start making that. They're not a movie studio. If you expected them to self-produce awesome content right out of the gate, like the movie Run, Hide, Fight is sick, but they didn't make that movie. They bought the rights to it. That movie is fucking awesome. I watched the preview for this movie and was not expecting much from it, and apparently it was not that good, I guess. I don't know. But it's one of those things. Like, Gina Carano apparently is on our side, so Luke's like, she has no chance of winning this, right? You're like, I don't know. It's like, it's gonna be really hard. You're all right, okay. No. Look, people who are in the private sector have a really hard time, winning these lawsuits. You're like, okay. And he's like, and also, it is pretty funny that they are doing this when they claimed it as a total victory when it first happened. You're like, cool. And he's like, and look at the video. Hey, look at the movie too. Her movie fucking sucks, man. And all these idiots over here called it woke. Huh? She said, they said it was a win, and the movie sucks. Why is she suing if it was such a win? I don't know who's arguing with you about this, dude. There's a story that she's suing Disney. Are you just making sure that we all know which side? Apparently we all know, dude. We all know. Anyway, so that's what that is. Now, I am going to talk specifically about this case, though, because it is I don't know, this issue is pretty straightforward to me, right? It's like, you knew you worked for Disney, right? Gina, you knew you worked for Disney, right? you're at Lucasfilm. You weren't just at Disney, you were at Lucasfilm, the wokest, most feminist heavy organization that is publicly known as far as I'm concerned. They have literally gutted every single property that Star Wars has. And they've not only just been like, we got to go heavy woke, they've like removed every male character from any show or movie that they do. Like, you know what kind of organization that you work for, right? So, of course, if you start publicly saying things that you know are going to trigger and enrage the entire organization that you work with, including your boss, most likely, like most of all, your boss, I mean, you had to know you're probably going to get fired if you kept doing it. Now, did I think her posts were funny? Especially the one where she did the pronouns and it was my pronouns are beep, bop, boop. Yeah, I thought that was funny. Because that's about how seriously I think everybody should take the fucking pronoun conversation. Hey, what are your pronouns? Beep. Beep? Mm-hmm. I identify as a car horn. So just beep? No, also bop. Bop is a car form? No, it's more of like, sometimes I'm like a sock dancer. They're like, a sock dancer? Yeah, beep, bop, and then like boop, you know? What are we talking about? Nothing, I'm just fucking with you. Oh. Well, some people take the pronoun thing really seriously. I know, pathetic people that I like to make fun of. Well, we're pretty serious about that around here. I know, that's why you guys suck. We do suck. That's true. We are the worst. But we don't know that because we're woke weirdos. Anyway, here's the deal. If you feel a complete cultural misalignment from the organization that you work for, you can quit. You know? Like, you can quit. People are entitled to free speech. I do believe that you should be able to say whatever you want on platforms, barring a certain level of stuff. Like the blanket free speech thing, I always say blanket free speech because I don't hear anything that I haven't heard anybody say anything that I'm like, whoa, dude, you know? But like, there is a level of speech where it's reasonable for a platform to censor it. And I'll give you an example, right? Like, think about the most outlandishly racist thing that you could possibly think of. Like, if you just went in your brain and you're all, what would the most racist person on earth say if you were trying to give an example of like something just horrifyingly racist? And just think about that. And you're like, you think that they should be able to say that publicly without it being censored? Like, so there is a line for people to cross. It's just like, I don't hear anybody even coming near that line. So that's, anyway, whatever. But in terms of like, do you have free speech? Yes. Do you have the right to work at any company that you want while saying things that you know are completely opposite and contrary to what that company stands for? I mean, I just don't think anyone has I don't think any company has to be mandated to hire or employ someone. If they're like, I don't fucking like that guy. Because do I like Disney? Fuck Disney, dude. Fuck Disney. Do I like Gina Carano? Yeah, I do. But here's the thing. Society runs on rules. All right. And so you can't just have the rules work in your favor and then not work in your favor other times. It's like you have to make the rules and you have to live by the same rules. So do I think that a company should be able to fire someone just because they don't like them? Yes, I do. I do. I don't think that anybody is entitled to anything. I don't think anyone's entitled to shit. Okay. Your money comes with conditions. Okay. I took a job. I took a job I started in November because, I mean, if you guys know my story, I had worked in tech for, I don't know, a long time. Right. And I had always maintained a full-time tech job and also done YouTube. So like when I got to like be successful on YouTube, Jesus, we had so much goddamn money because Gabrielle's successful too. I had a full-time tech job salary, Gabrielle's money, and all my YouTube money. We did whatever the fuck we wanted, dude. We were balling, son. But then I decided not to take the jab, and the company, even though I was the number one rep in the country, fired me. And then I learned that I didn't need that money, even though I was like, oh man, it's a lot, you know. That's what, because we were literally just doing anything we wanted and also saving tons of money. And then all of a sudden that was gone. And we're like, all right, well, we still can make our bills, no problem, and pretty much do what we want. So fuck it. But then I got offered a job and I was like, what kind of asshole would not take the job? So I took it, right? And at the very beginning of, first few weeks, I realized I was like, oh, things have changed now. Because I did this full time for a year, like my days have changed. I can't do a really good job in this role and simultaneously do what I'm doing over here. I'm not going to sacrifice what I'm doing for content. So the only thing I could do is do a half-ass job over here. And I was like, that's wrong. It's not right for me to do that. Okay. Now it mattered that is a good friend of mine who's the chief revenue officer who brought me on. And I'm like, I'm not going to just take a salary and like my number affects his number and his family. So I gave it up, dude. You know, $270,000 a year. And I gave that shit up, dude, because it's wrong, you know? But I don't know. Like I look at it like you don't just like, you're not entitled to shit. You just take a company's money. Anyway. I don't know if that example even is relevant, but either way, I hope Gina wins only because fuck Disney. I think Luke Thomas is still like I still have hope for this guy because he's smart. I don't understand how he's over there, but he certainly is digging his heels in. And 2024 is going to be a rough year if you're on that side because in case you haven't noticed, everyone's coming over here. Michael Rappaport, the most hypersensitive insanity Trump derangement syndrome guy on earth, just said he's going to vote for Trump now. All the rappers now are saying they're going to vote for the big guy. You understand? Like this is going to be a fucking avalanche. There's no way they're going to be able to juke this thing. Everyone is on this side now. Okay, all the rappers, fuck that guy. They're all on our side now. They're all coming over. The idea that he hates black people, that's over, dude. And that's all you had. Now you have a brain dead corpse. Weekend at Biden's guy walking around and everyone knows he's like, and you're going to run that against the big guy where now it's like you probably have 70% of the countries on our side. They could say the polls or whatever, but the people with big platforms, they're all with us now. Mainstream media, no one listens to it anymore. This shit is over. Get on the good guys team. Anyway, love you guys. Bye.